My sister is the type of person who smiles sweetly while pulling the chair out from under you, then convinces the world it was your fault for falling. For years, I was the let it go brother, the quiet artist who swallowed every jab for the sake of peace. But she finally pushed me too far when she decided my 3-year-old son didn't deserve a seat at the table. The breaking point happened at a high-end restaurant. My sister, Megan, invited us to celebrate her twin's birthday. We showed up in our best clothes, only to find a private room with 9 chairs for 12 invited guests. Megan gave me that fake, surprised grin she's perfected since high school. "Oh, Daniel," she chirped. "I thought I told you we only reserved for 9. There's just no room for you two." My son, Ethan, stood behind me with that heartbreaking polite smile kids wear when they realize they aren't wanted. Her husband, John, just leaned back, sipped his wine, and scoffed. "You really should have called ahead, man." I didn't cause a scene. I just took my son to the other side of the restaurant. We met Steve, the manager, a silver-haired guy who listened to my story with a tightening jaw. 12 minutes later, Ethan and I were in a plush booth by a fireplace, being treated like royalty. Through the glass partition, I watched Megan. Every time she saw us laughing with the staff, her face pinched tighter. She had orchestrated the no-seats thing to humiliate me in front of her friends. To her, I was just an unpredictable extra who messed up her aesthetic. The climax came during dessert. Megan had ordered a giant sparkler-topped volcano for the twins. She toasted us from across the room and mouthed, "You missed out." It was the ultimate flex. I leaned in and whispered to Steve, "Can you make a duplicate of that? Only triple the size. Make it theatrical." The shift was slow motion. 2 waiters wheeled out a 3-tiered monstrosity of molten lava cake, gold-dusted raspberries, and towering chocolate shards. A third waiter followed with sparkling glasses. The entire restaurant stopped eating. People started filming on their phones. A plaque on top read, "To the best dad and the coolest kid." Megan's face froze into a mask of pure, cold fury. She was no longer in control of the room. But the real blow came when their check arrived. She didn't realize that private rooms had a $3,500 minimum spend. Since she'd frozen us out, her party hadn't hit the mark. The look on her face when she saw the bill was worth every cent of that dessert. I stopped waiting for her validation after that. I stopped responding to the toxic group chats and started focusing on my art. My illustrations went viral. I landed a book deal. And I started building a life where Ethan and I were the main characters, not her background noise. A month later, she tried to reset the power dynamic by inviting me to a joint birthday dinner at the same restaurant. No apology, just a command, dress nice, RSVP. I showed up 9 minutes late, wearing a sharp jacket and bringing a date, Samantha, a stunning designer who made Megan look like beige wallpaper. There were 12 chairs this time. Megan had no choice but to let us sit. Halfway through the meal, I dropped the hammer. "I have a letter from Dad's lawyer," I said, sliding an envelope to our mother. Megan paled. "What are you talking about?" "Dad saw the favoritism," I said calmly. "The family cabin Megan's been renting out on Airbnb, it's in a trust, and the trust has a clause. If any beneficiary engages in exclusionary conduct against family, the lease is reorganized." Megan looked like she had swallowed glass as she scanned the legal threat. "I'm taking over the lease starting next month," I told her. "Remove the listings. Ethan and I are spending the summer there. Alone." I stood up, signaled Samantha and Ethan, and looked my sister dead in the eyes. "I'm done being your backdrop. If an invitation isn't sincere, don't bother sending it." We walked out while the room was silent enough to hear a pin drop. For the first time in 40 years, I wasn't just the quiet brother. I was the one holding the chair.